Clayton Kershaw made history tonight, and the St. Louis Cardinals could not outscore your pal Sully.
You are Locked On MLB, your daily MLB podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, baseball fans. Welcome to Locked On MLB, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. This is the daily podcast. We talk about all of Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully. Follow us at Locked On MLB Pods on Twitter or whatever they're calling it these days, on Instagram. I'm your pal Sully. I'm at Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram, but the best way to get a hold of me is right here on the YouTubes, and leave a message in the comments section there. This episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. I am in the auxiliary Locked On MLB studios, not in Pasadena, California, overlooking the historic Rose Bowl, but in Palo Alto, California, the birthplace of San Francisco Giants manager Bob Melvin and home of Stanford University. And I'm still setting up the new studio here, so forgive me. It's a little bit of a work in progress here, but I may be doing a few more live streams than I've done in a while. I've done a live stream in over a month, but I've been all over the map. But I'm here right now, and just about maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago, Clayton Kershaw recorded his 3,000th strikeout. He's now 3,000 strikeouts. He's the 20th member of that club. This is a man who has absolutely nothing left. He's one of the single greatest pitchers I've ever seen in my lifetime. He is a absolute Hall of Famer. He has won, 3 Cy Young Awards and an MVP. He has led the league in virtually every positive quality, statistic you could have as a pitcher. He's won the pitcher triple crown. Not that that matters much as we thought, with wins, ERA, and strikeouts. That year, he also led the league in WAR, if you like that sort of stuff. That year, that was 2014. He won the Cy Young Award and the MVP. For years and years, the thing against Kershaw was his postseason record. But I think, and he was denied his John Elway moment with the Astros banging the trash cans in 2017 because he pitched brilliantly in the 2 games in LA. But he redeemed, I believe, all questions with his 2 solid wins in the COVID series in 2020. He was not pitching his greatest game today against the Chicago White Sox, but and there was a nasty injury just before the 3,000 strikeout when the White Sox runner was trying to steal third, and he was tagged out, but there was a nasty collision with Max Muncy. I don't know what his injury is yet. It literally just happened 10, 15 minutes ago. Hopefully he's all right. But good for Dave Roberts. Good for Dave Roberts for reading the room. As a manager, he read the room. He looked around and he saw that Kershaw had a chance to get 3 strikeouts against the Chicago White Sox and get that 3,000th. And he said before the game, he's going to manage this game differently. That's right. Let's throw the analytics and the iPads and everything away for a day and say, let's read the damn room. And he pitched probably a little longer. He pitched 100 pitches in 6 innings, let up 3 or 4 runs to the White Sox, was losing, but he knew, hey, this is a big moment. Only 19 other pitchers in the history of baseball have reached the 3,000 strikeout moment. And he saw, hey, let's pitch him till he gets there. So good for him. Good for him for reading the room. Good for him for understanding the significance of what was happening tonight and letting him do the job. And of course, there was the scary moment before with Muncy, and I'm sure that's going to be a big topic of conversation as well. But now Clayton Kershaw has 3,000 strikeouts, and the man who is destined to go to the Hall of Fame and has an absolutely wonderful career He got it. He got it tonight. And let us review, shall we, the other members of the 3,000 strikeout club, which, by the way, just to show you that strikeout totals have skyrocketed recently, there's really one player in this entire group here who pitched in their entire career in pre-integration baseball, and that's Walter Johnson. But here are the 20 members. Nolan Ryan, who's no one's going to touch it. He is 5,714. Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Steve Carlton, Burt Blyleven, Tom Seaver, Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry. Walter Johnson is the only old timer. Two more current players are Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, the great Greg Maddux, Phil Niekro, Ferguson Jenkins, Pedro Martinez, Bob Gibson, Curt Schilling, CeCe Sabathia, John Smoltz, and Clayton Kershaw. By the way, for those of you who wondered based on the show I did the other day regarding Pride Week, if I'm letting any political or social points of view get in the way of my appreciation of baseball, let me just say it's insane that Curt Schilling's not in the Hall of Fame. It is absolutely insane. He's someone I probably don't agree with on anything on the planet Earth, and I don't care. He's one of the greatest big game pitchers of all time, and he's on this list of 20 players with 3,000 strikeouts. What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? Am I going to agree with everything Curt Schilling said? No, nor do I agree with everything that Chipper Jones said either. But he belongs in the Hall of Fame. It's not the hall of people who agree with Sully politically. It's the Hall of Fame of baseball, and Curt Schilling belongs in it. And so does Roger Clemens, for that matter, but that's a whole different bag of tomatoes. But Clayton Kershaw, let's stay positive. Oh, and I also want to make sure I make one other thing clear. A couple people asked me if I thought I was saying Clayton Kershaw was a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't agree with him on what he did, but it's like, I think by all accounts, he seems like a good man. He seems like a good, solid teammate and a very easy person to root for. And while I'm not a Dodger fan by any stretch of the imagination, Clayton Kershaw is a Hall of Famer, one of the single greatest Los Angeles Dodgers of all time, probably top three. Probably top three. Koufax, Kershaw, and I guess Mike Sharperson would be the last one there. But congratulations to the great Clayton Kershaw. Get that Hall of Fame speech ready. Do you know why? You are going to the Hall, and you are part of an elite group, and you have nothing to answer for in your career. Hey, let's hear from our good friends over at Supply House. Get the supplies you need for the site that's made for skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from more than 400 top brands, you're going to find exactly what you need, delivered fast and from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Okay, we are going to go from the great to the stupid because a couple of stupid things happened today in baseball regarding teams who are fighting for playoff spots. First and foremost, the St. Louis Cardinals are a flawed team who are trying to take advantage. Why is the Supply House thing still on there? Who are trying to take advantage of some underachieving by the San Diego Padres, and the fact that the Giants are dead from the neck up. And because of that, a Cardinal team that I thought was going to be rebuilding this year found themselves in a playoff spot. And they're going to find themselves tomorrow morning in a playoff spot as well, albeit tied with the San Diego Padres. But they are going to be in a dogfight. You got Los Angeles, got Philadelphia, you got, Chicago, who won today against the Cleveland Guardians. They look really good. Milwaukee has dug themselves out of a hole, and they look pretty good. The Mets, despite having that horrible, horrible run, they found a way to beat Mizorowski today, his first bad start in the majors, and they are going to be salivating to face the Yankees. There's a bunch of teams that are really good who are fighting for a playoff spot, and the Cardinals found themselves in the middle of it. And I'm sure they took a look at their schedule and saw they were going to be playing the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates and thought, well, that's going to be a couple of wins. That is going to be a couple of wins. And they were on a roll at the end of June. And they were thinking, they had thoughts of a division title dancing in their head with just a couple of games or about 2 or 3 games back of the Cubs. And off they went. And they went to Pittsburgh, no doubt thinking, all right, they are going to be, that's a couple wins because the Pirates stink. All right, they lost a Paul Skeens start. Paul Skeens dusted himself off of the Mizorowski game. He pitched well. They lost a Keller start. And then comes today. And with today, the St. Louis Cardinals lost 5-0. 5 bagel. Why am I bringing this up? They got swept by the Pirates. They got absolutely swept. But beyond getting swept by the Pirates, they tied me for runs scored. They tied me for runs batted in. I know the Pirates with Heaney and Keller and Skeens, they have decent pitching. I understand that. But holy cow, this isn't the 1995 Braves. And you're a team that has to win games like this. If you are scraping for that final wild card spot, which realistically is what they're aiming for, you cannot afford to go play a bottom feeder like the Pittsburgh Pirates and not win that series. That's how you get in. You beat up the bad teams and you hold your own with the good teams. They went to Pittsburgh and didn't score a run. Goose egg, and did I mention goose egg? And Paul Skeens didn't throw a complete game. It's not like they have the 1990 Reds bullpen. How many references to 90s baseball am I going to make today? I don't know. Someone keep a tally. And let me tell you something. Mark this down on your calendar if you're a St. Louis Cardinal fan, okay? Because if it comes down to the last few weeks of the season, and they're fighting for a playoff spot, go back to the beginning of July. They haven't scored a run in July yet. Go back to the beginning of July and ask yourself, gee whiz, are those 3 games going to come and haunt them? By the way, they're idle tomorrow, so they can't score a run till July 4th. You know, they had a game where Andre Palante and Phil Maton allowed 6 base runners the whole game. Final score 1-0. You can't do that. You can't do that if you're the Cardinals. You can't afford that. That's just stupid. And yes, you tip your hat when a Heaney or a Keller pitches well, but you can only tip your hat so much until you're the Michigan J Frog saying, hello, my baby, hello, my honey. At some point, you got to say, wait a minute. We've got to be able to score some runs off of the Pirates bullpen. And, oh, yeah, keep the Pirates from getting a big pile of runs scored. It's not even worth going over the ins and outs of the final game that was played on Wednesday. But Cardinal fans, look up. And now the only thing going right for the Cardinal fans is the fact that as of this recording, they technically still are a playoff team. They're tied with San Diego. But you've allowed the Padres back into this. And why is this critical? At the end of the month is the trade deadline. If you're a team like St. Lou and you're fighting for a playoff spot, you have to start thinking about, what are we going to do? Who are we? Same as it ever was. And if you're looking up and saying, okay, yeah, we have an outside chance to be a wild card team, but if we can't even score a run against Pittsburgh, are we really going to sacrifice some of our young players or any quality prospects to fill some holes? This is the sort of gut check moment. And I swear, I'm going to bring it back up. If it's September and the Cardinals are still in it and scrapping and just a couple of games back, I'll say, remember when you couldn't score a run against the Pirates? That was the dumbest series of the week. The dumbest game of the day took place in Toronto. Two teams, the Yankees and the Blue Jays, locked antlers today. Now, I've never been a big fan of John Schneider as a manager. And quite frankly, I've never been a big fan of Aaron Boone as a manager. So when you have two Mensa candidates like that facing off, it was basically a hold my beer fest. Now, the Yankees, and I'll go over this later on as the Yankees and the Mets are playing over the weekend, the Yankees have been dead for the neck up since I told Yankee fans not to panic. Since I did the episode where I told Met fans and Yankee fans not to panic, an interesting thing has happened. The Mets have fallen out of first place, and while they won the final game against the Brewers today, they've not been looking good. And the Yankees have looked it's not that they've been on a 9-10 game losing streak. I haven't seen the Yankees play this level of dumb, listless baseball since, well, frankly, Game 5 of the 2024 World Series. This is a horrible defensive team. The Yankees have a player named Volpe who can't field his position. A second baseman is playing third base. Jazz Chisholm is a second baseman. He's playing third for reasons that poets, philosophers, and scholars will never figure out. The late DJ LeMahieu is playing second base. And Paul Goldschmidt, who I think is a mummy at this point, is at first base. It's one of the worst defensive infields I've ever seen in my life. And they're also dumb. The team is dumb. They throw to the wrong base. They don't know what out it is. The catcher keeps being called for catcher's interference. It's just a dumb team that is always swinging for the fences because launch angle, launch angle, launch angle. Hey, if we get a base hit, we could score the tying run. Launch angle, launch angle, launch angle. That's going to be another upcoming podcast. Our analytics being used as a tool or a security blanket. That's an upcoming podcast. Well, today the Yankees knew that not only if they lost the game to Toronto, that they would be tied after they lost a couple of slugfests with Toronto. They lost the first two games. This is a 4-game set, and they could not get anything. They couldn't get a big rally the other day when the Blue Jays were doing everything they could to hand the game back to them. Well, today, Will Warren was not informed that the first inning counted, and he let up 7 runs. They were up there. The Blue Jays had a 5-0 lead on New York before the Yankees recorded their first out. They had a 7-0 lead. And then the Yankees started to come back. They had a big 6-run rally. And in a moment late in the game where Aaron Judge was coming up as the tying run, the genius that is John Schneider, with a base open, pitched to him. And to the surprise of exactly 0 people on the planet Earth, he hit it into Monument Park at Yankee Stadium, which is really impressive when you keep in mind the game was being played in Toronto. Tie game. What was a 7-0 first inning lead turned into a 9-9 game in the 8th inning. And just when you thought, oh my God, the Blue Jays had coughed it up Aaron Boone remind everyone these are your 2025 Yankees, and they had Ben Rice as the catcher, and with a runner at third, he tried to backhand or do it. He didn't get in front of the ball with a go-ahead run on third in the 8th inning, and the go-ahead run came in on a wild pitch. Now, they wound up getting an insurance run as well, but Williams, yet again, got another loss for the Yankees. His ERA was over 5. I'm sorry, you may have to DFA the guy or only use him in mop-up roles. But that's also part of the thing is the bullpen's gassed. This is one of the reasons why I talked about Clark Schmidt giving him a chance to throw the no-hitter. People got on all me about, like, what about pitch counts? Don't blow out his arm. How about the bullpen that's gassed? How about you don't use the bullpen when a guy's throwing a no-hitter and they're up by 10 runs or 9 runs or whatever the hell it was? They've got a gassed bullpen, the worst infield defense I've seen that wasn't managed by Walter Matthau. And now it's tied. The AL East is tied. The Toronto Blue Jays, managed by they are tied with the Yankees. And guess what? The Rays, who beat the A's the other day, are a half game back. There is a greater than 0 chance that the Yankees could be in third place by the end of the weekend. Neither the Blue Jays nor the Yankees deserve to win that game. And I do not believe the Blue Jays won that game. The Yankees lost it. It was one of the dumbest games I've ever seen in my life. But there you go. Sometimes dumb things happen and you have to move on. But holy Toledo, when you have the brain trust of Schneider versus Aaron Boone, file that under. Yikes. All right, let's hear from our good friends over at Monarch Money. You ever wish that managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Now, sometimes you have a lot of subscriptions, or you signed up for a lot of things in a trial and you forgot that you were paying for it. Monarch Money can help you track those down. If you're sharing your finances with your wife, your partner, me, Monarch Money helps you stay on the same page and keep track of all your finances. And if you have a financial goal, like a new car or college tuition or a chance to fly to Sacramento and see your beloved Sacramento A's, Monarch Money can help you save money along the way. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Monarch Money, control your bills. All right, one last thing. I was part of the group show we do from time to time, and we talked about the All-Star game, and I talked a lot about some of the things that I would like to see changed in the All-Star game. Some things that I would like to. Obviously, I've always talked about how I believe that we should start the season with the All-Star game. I think that the top vote getters should play 9 innings, so we could see some of the stars playing. But we announced who the starters were. A complete obvious choice for catcher Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners over Alejandro Kirk. Vladdy Guerrero over Paul Goldschmidt. That's a no-brainer. Paul Goldschmidt's been riding the pine, and Guerrero is a fine player. Yankee fans who looking at their defense and looking at their infield that's in shambles right now, Gleyber Torres is the starting second baseman, playing with the Tigers this year. Jacob Wilson is the starting shortstop for your Sacramento A's. And there's no getting around the fact that he is having an all-star caliber first half with his batting average, and tons of hits, and he's playing very well at shortstop. I would have picked Bobby Witt Jr. because he has at least a full season to show that he is a all-star caliber player. But I'm not going to bring torches and pitchforks to the all-star game just because I would have voted for Bobby Witt Jr. over Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson clearly belongs in the all-star game. Obvious choice of Jose Ramirez at third over the injured Alex Bregman. Man, because Rafi Devers was traded to the National League, Ryan O'Hearn gets to tell his grandchildren that he started an all-star game. He's going to be the DH over Ben Rice. That's how thin the designated hitter position is in the American League. Aaron Judge, Riley Green, and Javier Baez are your starting outfield. What I would do if I had my druthers, this is what would happen. My outfield would be Stephen Kwan, Riley Green, and Javier Baez, and Aaron Judge is the DH. But what do I know? What do I know? Congratulations to Ryan O'Hearn. The NL, Will Smith is going to start at catcher over Carson Kelly. Pete Alonso did not get the starting position at first base. That would be Freddie Freeman. I think I probably would have I have no problem with Freddie Freeman starting. I like Alonso, but what are you going to do? Second base is one of the biggest no-brainers. Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks. Francisco Lindor over Mookie Betts. I love the fact Mookie Betts is in there as a shortstop. Manny Machado, who's been tremendous again for the Padres, over Max Muncy, who looked like he was injured today. Obviously, Ohtani is your DH. Ronald Acuna Jr. has played. He's played 35 games. I have a big problem with an all-star starter who had played 35 games. What are you going to do? He is a star. Kyle Tucker from the Cubs, and Pete Crow Armstrong. Just in case the Mets want to know if they lost the trade of which they traded away, where they traded for Javier Baez. Yeah, they lost it because Javier Baez is in the All-Star game as a Tiger, and Pete Crow Armstrong is in the All-Star game as a Cub. I probably would have put Juan Soto as the outfielder over Ronald Acuna Jr., and I have a feeling by the end of the year, having Juan Soto as the starting outfielder will be an absolute no-brainer. But there you go. No doubt Soto will be on the All-Star team, and there you go. Those are your starters, and I'd like to see some of them playing the whole game. But what do I know? Hey, thanks so much for making Locked On MLB your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long, get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night right here on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. A couple upcoming shows. I'm going to be talking a little bit about, I'm going to equate relying on metrics as a security blanket. Reminds me a little bit of how movies are being made now. Also, on the 4th of July, I'm going to have a special episode where I'm going to be talking about how baseball could be used to unite the states of America in these very divisive times. So, there you go. Going to fix up the new studio. Going to make a few changes around here. But here we are, talking about the greatness of Clayton Kershaw, the non-greatness of the Cardinals bats, the stupidity of the Blue Jays Yankee game, and your all-star starters. This has been Locked On MLB. I am your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully.